Hey guys, Enigma here. Just have a Nekroz deck profile for you guys today. Um, just trying to kind of get used to this new setup here. Just gonna get into the profile here. Kind of newer at this deck. Built it over the quarantine here. But it's one of the decks I've been wanting to play for several years. I played Ritual Beast when it came out, if that tells you anything. But start this off. 3 Brionic. I mean, that's pretty standard. 2 Trish. Some people play 1. I like the 2. It's really just, it's nice to see a little bit more often. 2 Valkyris. Only because of the card choices later in the deck that I play too. It's really just to make room for everything. 2 Colossus. I mean, it's pretty simple. 1 Unicorn, 1 Gunyear, and 1 Decisive Armor. Alright. And that's pretty much it for the Nekroz monsters. Next, we have the 2 Chalice Mines. I only run 2 just because a third is kind of a brick in a way, because yes, it can let you discard itself or another card in your hand, but not only do you see 2 and then you can discard it, but I always feel like I want to see something else than a second one of these, and if possible, I'd want to discard 1. Plus, these are searchable, so 2 is fine. 3 is just kind of unnecessary. 1 Cyber Angel Benten, and that goes with the Vanity Ruler. And I do have Christia, but I feel like Vanity Ruler is just better in this deck, just because I prefer to special summon a little bit more. Plus, it just doesn't restrict me. I do have Gale Dogras, which I might switch out around the engines put in Christia, but for now this is kind of what I want to use. It's a little bit of a smaller engine. It's a little faster and a little more consistent. 1 Shuret. Really, you only need the 1. 2, you don't want to see a second one. 3 bricks. 2 is no number you'd never want to see, so 1's fine. 3 Zomborg. I kind of want to put this down to 2. Only problem is it's not really searchable in the deck, which is a hard draw. So you want to open this. I want to get the seed 3 in here just so I can open it. The rest I don't really need. If I could play 1, I would, but I kind of need to see it. 2 Manju. You don't really normal summon the deck, but problem is I'd prefer to see more Nekroz or something else than seeing him, but he does search for it, so it's nice to have 3, but for now I'm just having the 2 because I like the consistency of having the 2 of this in the deck. 2 Talismandras, 2 the Quill, 1 of Kendall, and then 1 of Bookstone. This is kind of more standard if you've seen more Nekroz decks. Talismandra is one of the better ones, so you always want to have kind of 2 of him in almost every ritual deck. Kendall is just not as good. Not as good in this deck, only because it has a ritual spell, but you already have half the deck that already kind of does that. That's why I play 2 of this one, the Quill, just because it does target a ritual monster in Grave, which will be great with Talismandra. That and just 1 Bookstone. You don't need 2. You don't need anything more than this. These will suffice. Just opening up 1 is fine. So a little bit of a smaller engine than what most do, but it's really just I want more consistency in this deck. See a little bit more options for myself. 3 prep, kind of standard. 2 cycle, 2 mirror, and then 2 kaleidoscope. I've seen so many people really try to change this up. People are like, don't change it, you only have this. But the problem is, I just see this format as Call by the Grave, almost less hand traps coming up. So I feel like everyone's playing Call by the Grave. So if I get to have a second one of these, it's nicer just to make sure that they don't banish the ritual spell I'm trying to bring back with one of my cards, like pre-prep. I know they'll probably go for the monster most of the time, but not having the ritual card, I've seen some people pull out and it messes up all the plays. So I'd rather play 2 of it, but the rest are kind of standard on that. Finally, just the one in Incantation. You just play it for the ritual. You almost never use it, but it pops up occasionally. 2 Observatory. Talismandra is one of the better targets for this one. Just so you draw 2. It's the better draw card than Desires or Avarice in the deck. So, and then finally just 1 Rhoda just to search off the sheep shrimp, I believe. Yeah, the warrior. It's sometimes it's almost like you almost feel like it's wasting the search for them. So, yeah. Go off to the extra deck. It's kind of simple. I mean, nothing really changed from any other player. 2 the Sacred Flame, 3 Herald, 3 Elder, 1 Mist for the target, Brionic for target, DDD King Alexander and King Siegfried, only for the targets for the level. They could be totally something else. I'm thinking ahead for the DDD format for the new Master Rule, when we might be seeing some of these played. So having a side deck of cherries might help out with that. So it's just options. Trishula and then Stardust, Chronicle, Spark Dragon, but that's only again for the level. These really can be anything, but I just kind of like having the Trish and the Brionic in the side extra deck for the actual deck. But it could be anything here, just the same levels. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about the deck. I like playing it so far. I'm not sure how great it will be in the new format. I feel like Link format kind of helped this be a little bit more together since it didn't rely on the extra deck. But now that everyone's going to be playing extra deck base decks, especially like C and Synchro, we might see a little bit of a shorter turn on some turn. Like someone's going to play a Synchro based deck. I know we just lost certain cards in the ban list there, but I was waiting to see if Unicorn might come back to 2 on that list, since they keep bumping everything else up every other list or so for this deck. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, and there'll be a few more deck profiles I'll be putting up in the next few days or so. All right, have a good one, guys.